Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Customs in Switzerland. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a 1:43 scale Dickie brand RC model of an Audi S1 e-tron quattro. This is Ken Block's first electric Hoonigan car, known as the Hoonitron, as featured in the Electrikhana video, which was shot in Las Vegas. It was his last Hoonigan video. This is my tribute project to the man and his car. I've never owned an RC car in any scale size. This is a first for me. It's got some weight to it. All the dimensions are correct. It is an S1 e-tron. My task will be simply to give it a cosmetic facelift from this all black and yellow livery to the actual Hoonitron look, for which there's a myriad of online pics that I can refer to for guidance. Whoa! I wonder if that's part of the real car. Not sure if I'm going to fully rig it up to be a working RC car. Last thing I need is to get this all finished and have it flip over upside down on the sidewalk and scratch up a week's worth of work. No drilling today. This is all screws being removed. And once I lift the body off, which is really just a shell made out of very light plastic, there's a rear wing and a rear diffuser to come off, the front chin spoiler, and the four wheels. Lots of parts on the tabletop that I'll catalog and keep carefully together in a plastic bin until it's time to reassemble everything at the end. Need that motion for serious drifting. Coming soon on Maple Leaf Customs, I'm doing a Land Rover Safari makeover for the next Four Horsemen Invitational. I've got a 3D printed all-terrain tugboat on the docket, followed by an Alfa Romeo GT V6 and a Renault Twizy, which should be a fun little build. I hope you'll be back for all of these. I really appreciate your support and following. The one-piece shell of the e-tron does not have removable glass. It's just part of the paint scheme. So I'm going to mask that off carefully right along the lines before I shoot some primer on the rest of it. That'll do it. I use a Scotch-Brite pad to scuff up the rest of the body so the primer will have something to adhere to. And for this job I'm using a spray can from the hardware store. The accessory parts get a primer treatment as well. Shine Red from the Kaleido Colorworks collection is a perfect match for the pics that I found. So the rear diffuser, the rear wing, and the chin spoiler up front all get redone in this bright red. Today's community shoutout goes to Onker Donker Diecast on YouTube, whom I invite you to follow like I am by clicking on the link in the description. Onker Donker and I both thank you very much. The decal part of this Hoonitron makeover is by far the most challenging and intricate because I had to create all of these by myself, to scale of course. Lots of them are ghost white underlay, and because of the body contours, I was met with challenges on every quarter of this car. What I do is look for the logos online and download them, scale them to size for the model I'm working on. And I'm rarely stumped, there's so much available. I keep several pics open on my laptop while I'm doing these jobs. When I can't find what I need, I have to design my own. And this e-tron has some crazy graphics on it, so that pushed me to the limit. Of course, a pure white background is the best canvas for decal application. The black and red of the e-tron makes for a really great contrast against it, too. This is where I'm most thankful I'm working on a 1:43 scale model instead of a 1:64 size Hot Wheels. I had to split these side panels into two different decals because of the air intake on the side of the e-tron. That would have just been a great big, almost impossible to overcome wrinkle. Two separate pieces made it a little bit more manageable. The hood decal features a carbon fiber print, which also shows up much better on this larger scale model. Hoonigan has a long-standing relationship with Monster energy drinks that feature prominently on their cars, as does Toyo Tires. Much of the remaining landscape needs to be all black. That's best done with airbrushing instead of decals, so that required more masking. The existing decals had already been clear coated and that had cured before the tape went down. Detail work on the undercarriage was done with some Molotov chrome and a fine paintbrush. My store-bought Dickie model did not have an accurate set of wheels on it, so I had to design and 3D print some of my own. These are 30mm in size. I primed them up and now I need to do some careful hand brushing around the rims. The e-tron wheels all feature one red spoke, which I took care of, and then I printed some ghost white decals for the Toyo Tires Proxies brand. Not skimping on the details for this one. Reassembly simply required reattaching the removable pieces using the original screws. Everything's been clear coated in Kaleido high gloss varnish. The rear wing went onto the body shell. The gin spoiler and the rear diffuser reattached to the chassis. I was hoping I might find a workaround for those 4 posts that secure the body shell to the chassis, so that I wouldn't have to poke holes through my nice decal work, but there was no way around that, and in the end that's the look of an RC car. The last move was to reaffix the 4 3D printed wheels in a way that would make them functional if I do decide to fire it up. Back to Vegas. That's like my wife driving to a shoe sale. I'm all finished, so let's have a closer look. Clearly this was an exercise in decal design and application, combined with a little bit of complementary paint work. It did have its challenges, but also satisfying results. The only 3D printed parts are the 4 wheels. I think the whole package came out looking really close to the original Electrikhana Audi S1 e-tron. All black and yellow is always a sharp-looking contrast in any kind of livery, but this job was to be a Hoonitron tribute, so I spent the best part of a week doing it over in the Electrikhana look, with all of its details and intricacies. Here are all of my former Hoonigan builds. My first one was the original Ford Mustang Hoonigan, built on a 1:43 scale casting. Then I did the Hoonitron on a similar size Ford F-150 with very intricate 3D printed components in the open bed of the pickup. The Hoonigan is a Pikes Peak hill climber. This is an entirely 3D printed Porsche 911 GT3R with a lift-off body so you can see all the detail underneath it. Thank you for visiting my channel again today. I hope you enjoyed my Ken Block Hoonitron tribute build, and I welcome you back soon. Remember to hoon responsibly. It's coffee time.